Jai Gurudev, dear friends, as you have noticed, I haven't posted recently. My life has changed drastically. There are a lot of things going on, and I literally didn't have time to record. So I'm having a lot of people on the waiting list. I talked with a bunch of people, and I can hardly wait to record with them. But I wanted to share with you something that is really dear to my heart. Just Love Festival is starting in less than 4 or 5 days. I don't even know. Monday it's gonna start. So it's an amazing festival. I'm gonna link in the description the YouTube channel and the web page, so you can check it out. It's happening here in the ashram. Everything is changing. You can feel the energy of the festival growing, and it's just going to be a crazy celebration. So it's like 10 years of Just Love Festival and 20 years of Bhakti Marga. And since I haven't recorded anything, I somehow decided to share with you this talk that I had with my neighbor Vichitra. We are raising our children together, basically. My daughter is playing with her daughters every day, so it's such a blessing to live in a community. And we were invited to talk about what does it mean to have a family and lead a spiritual life. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you haven't been to Just Love Festival, please do join. It's amazing. You still have time. You can book a ticket, and you can catch a flight or a train or whatever. It's amazing. There's such a special vibe to it, because you come here, and even though we don't have alcohol, drugs, we have only vegan, vegetarian food, it's still the greatest festival ever, because people are having so much fun, and they're exalted, and they're high on love. Literally, they're high on love. So it's amazing to witness. I'm gonna keep an update soon. Probably I'm gonna give you an update of what was happening recently, what has changed. Hopefully I'm gonna record during JLF some videos, but I'm not gonna keep you longer. I want to do as many videos as possible, but at the same time, when life becomes hectic, you just go with the flow, and that's it. And when you can do it, you can do it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you for the next Walk the Talk. Jai Gurudev.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, neighbor. Vichitra. My name is Mayatita Das. We are neighbors. Mm-hmm. Probably that's why Rishika Triambakeshwari chose us, because we live in the same building, literally, and our kids are playing together. So let's introduce a little bit ourselves. You can tell a little bit about your short story, how you came up here. I'm going to share a little bit about how we ended up here, living next to the ashram, and then we're going to go straight into the topic. And we literally invite you to help us out, because as true Vaishnavas and living next to this ashram, we had literally no time to prepare. So having kids and being next to the ashram, we have no time. So we invite you to have a conversation, and we hope you have questions that we can just step right into it. So Vichitra, how did you end up next to this ashram?
So my name is Vichitra. I come from Spain. and I've been living here in the village, not in Springen, but Vatselheim, for more than 4 years now. I have 2 little kids, and I met Guruji almost 11 years, I think, now. And when the eldest one was a few months old, we came for darshan, and somehow we ended up staying for more days. And I, inside of me grew this feeling that I would like my child to grow up here in this environment. So when I came back home, I shared this with my husband, and he was open to that. He said yes. And a few months later, Guruji heard when he was speaking with somebody else about it, and he said, yes, come to live here. So a few months before coming here, COVID started. So we had to postpone. And in the meantime, my husband lost his job. So we were like, how are we going to do this? Because we had some savings, but Germany is not Spain. And we thought maybe we postpone it. Actually, my husband was like, maybe it's better I get a new job, this and that. But Guruji said, no, just come. So we thought, we go. We packed everything and we put it in a truck. We took the car. We even had a small cat. And everything happened that all the trip to here, like 2 days, it all flew very well. It was in a good flow. And as soon as we arrived here, one day after, I remember Guruji was eating some cherries, and he was like, come. And he was like, oh, you're here. And by the way, in order to avoid some drama, we didn't tell anything to our parents. Because...
Good example for your kids now. Don't tell anything to your parents if you want to change your life. And
the thing is that they're not devotees, right? And for them, in my case, they would not really understand why. So we thought, let's be practical. They will know in the right time, but now we have to focus on going there. And as soon as we arrived, Guruji asked, so Vichitra, what about your parents? Do they know you're here? And I said, no. and I asked, so what is the easiest way for them to know that, that it's not too painful for them? He said, the quickest the shock, the better. And okay, so we just told them just a few days later. But anyways, what I wanted to say is that after that night, my husband got a much better job than what he had before. And everything started to flow for him. So in the end, this economical part that we were so worried about, everything went to its place. And I also remember that he asked, are you not going to miss your country? And I said, no. And the truth is that every time I went to Spain, I did not have this feeling of, oh, I want to come back. Not at all. I was more like feeling it's finished. For me, this phase of my life, it's finished. This is how it is for me. And so now we're living here. It is intense. Everything must be said. But I will not change it for anything at all. Even though this is like in Spanish we call it montaña rusa, which is like a Russian, you have to keep going, and grab his feet and just think of him and keep going. And I'm very happy to be here, to be honest, until he says we have to do something else. What is your story?
Long story short, we've been married for quite a while, me and my wife, and we didn't have children until we met Guruji. It's somehow he waited until we became devotees. So in 2020, when we became devotees, short time after, Radha was born, and we had a crazy life before. both of us were actors, so we had really, financially, we were also super stable. But after we became devotees, something shifted inside, because we had an experience playing for him in front of Guruji in Vrindavan, and then we realized pursuing an acting career after an experience like this made no sense, because you played in front of him. What else can there be? Like an Oscar? Who cares about that, you know? So we changed our life. We moved into another city, my hometown, to build the temple and the ashram there. And Radha was born. After Radha was born, our daughter, I'm from Romania, by the way, because I saw a face where he's from, Romania. So after she was born, our life changed completely, because we were free spirits. Nobody was doing schedules to us. And when you have a child, you don't belong to yourself anymore. We hear about, yeah, you know, you have to surrender, you have to serve, put the others first. And when you don't have children, you choose when you do this. I mean, you're like, yeah, today I'm going to put the others first. But when you have kids, they decide. So it's their call, they run the show, and somehow you understand that it is selfless service. This is the practical side of selfless service. So we had the same feeling. My wife came here, she had the same feeling this would be the best place for Radha to grow up. And she came back home. I have the husband perspective. She came back home and she said, you know, I have this feeling. And I said, you know, I don't have this feeling, because we have like a lot of stuff to do here in Sibiu. We're building the ashram. We are working. Then the war in Ukraine started. Our hometown got flooded with refugees. We started working with them, doing theater, stuff like that. And I had the feeling that I have a purpose and I have to fulfill this purpose, save the world. But I told her we're going to come if Guruji asks us to. So I'm not going to be like, we go and see what happens. If he asks us, we're going to do it. Somehow we arranged the Leela in some way, that he asked me in a couple of months later, are you living in SPN? And I was like, you know, we're living in Romania, building your ashram. I said, I always forgot. And that's when things started happening. And I said, maybe this is a sign, you know? So we checked with him. Do you really want us to move? And he said, yes. So that's when everything started accelerating. And I thought it's going to happen in a year. But our good friends, Tejashri, she's here. She's a really old friend of ours and our neighbor. She gave us a call and she said, if you want to move to Germany, you have to come now, because we found an apartment for you. And it's super hard to find apartments here, because all these villages are small. It's never going to happen, either now or never. And it was like a decision that, anyway, for our parents, we had to tell them. They thought we were crazy. How can you leave your job? How can you leave your stability for what? What are you going to do there? And we said, we don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You have like a 2-year-old daughter and you don't know? No, we actually don't know. Do you have a job there? No. Do you have where to stay? Somehow. Do you have anything inside? The apartments in Germany, they come empty, just for you to know.
Actually, when we came here, we only saw one picture from outside of our apartment, and we didn't know where we were coming.
Jumped.
Yes, because there was the only opportunity, and he said to go. Okay, we go. Finished.
And this jumping phase, this is the easiest part, because you say everybody's around you. Tejashi was like, come, everybody, the friends from Sibiu, okay, go, you're going towards Guruji. And we're like, okay, let's jump. And we jumped. and it took like a month until the process started. That's the moment when you fall, because you jump off and you're like, it's so fun. And then a day goes, another day, a week, and bills come, and you have to pay this, you have to pay that. You have to get rid of the dog, you have to sell your car, and you're like, what have I gotten myself into? I'm crazy. Oh my God, maybe mom was right. I'm crazy. And this is when trust comes into place. This is when faith comes into place, because while you're falling, this is the beauty of having a guru, a master on the spiritual path and in your life, because while you're falling, you always have this in the back of your head. Nothing will happen because I have him. And this is what my wife was here. She had to come and arrange stuff. I was home with Rada in Romania, and we were communicating. Basically, we sold everything we had, and we gave to pay the rent. And we had nothing. She had nothing here except friends that were feeding and housing her. I had nothing there because I had to collect all the money. And she was calling me, and she was saying, we have nothing. And I said, I know, but we have to, like, he's gonna do something. And this is what I want to finish somehow, because this somehow sums up the whole experience. She wanted to go to Holy Lake, and she wanted to do seva there. And she said, okay, we don't have the money. I don't have the money to really go there. And I said, do you have the money to pay for your stay, for your accommodation? I think I'm gonna barely make it. I can do that. Okay, go. And because this is why we have to move, this is why we want to move, to serve him here. Go, and he will take care of everything. This is what we said. Okay, he's gonna take care. So she paid that, she went there, and she was calling me from Holy Lake, and she said, I don't know what's happening, but literally every day people come and feed me. They were offering her food, like random people, friends and random people. And at one point she called me crying. She said, I wanted today to eat an ice cream. I looked at it in my pocket, and I said, I'm not going to be stupid to buy ice cream instead of food. So she put the money back, and she went back to her seva. And like half an hour later, a woman comes running with 2 ice creams. She has to go to the event, and she's like, I have 2 ice creams. Do you want one? And she hands it to her. And she's like, and she calls me crying, and she's like, telling me this. And then she has this realization. She says, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, we had everything. We had money for everything. And now that we have nothing, now I truly see his grace. Because when you have everything, you're like, I have everything. But now she was like, he is taking care of everything, like literally everything. And this is something that for us as parents is a gift that we can give to our children, because we know our parents. This is like a default program for parents. What do parents do? They worry. This is my mom who used to say to me, why do you worry? And she says, you're going to have a child and you're going to see why you have to worry. And I didn't understand. And I still don't understand, but for different reasons, because I have him. So I don't worry. Where is Rada? I don't know. She's around. She's around. Everybody knows whose kid belongs to who, and they can be free here because the community takes care of them.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's one of the things that we as parents really appreciate, that we are living in a community. There's many other families around. So when we come here, for me, prayers are very important, like another very important, probably the most important part of the daily routine, to come here for prayers. Actually, during the first year, it was a bit tricky. We had lots of things to put in order, and adapting to a new country with a new language is not so easy. or can be not so easy. So I remember coming to prayers and really feeling like I was having like a shower, like cleaning all these worries or fears or like frustrations and anger after coming for prayers, and really feeling I'm not missing one day. Also because I like prayers, I like to sing and I like to enjoy prayers, but I could really feel that there is something else happening that my mind is not understanding, but it's really happening within me. So we come here every day, and our children are playing together or sometimes just around, and it's not like when you are outside that they can be, there's maybe cars or maybe other shops and maybe some strange people around, but here it's very safe. Everybody knows each other, and we can let our children play more relaxed and free. And so you infuse this freedom, self-trust too. And I think this is one of the nicest things that I really appreciate. So that's the power of the community, that we all take care of our kids. Other residents are watching our children, and when we need something, for example during COVID time, this was not so easy because we had to stay at home. There was always somebody asking, do you need me to do some shopping for you? Do you need me to bring you some medicines? Do you need me to cook for you? Justin had some soup sometimes from us because we had extra. Why not? Actually, we live in a building where he organized it so that it's all devotees.
Like 7 apartments or stuff.
It was not like this before, but now we are all devotees. So the support, that's the strength of the community, the support from all of us. I don't know if you want to add something else to that.
What I would want to touch upon is, it might sound that we living here, like, of course it's like this because you live here in the ashram, but what about me? I'm living, maybe I don't have any devotee around me. What's going to happen with my kids because they will not have this? What we learn from our interaction with the kids, and this is something that also it's Guruji's instruction somehow, is you should be the example for the kid. I mean, the kid will learn from you. Our kids now, when they play with japa malas and they play with the puja set, and the arguments they have when they're like, they are fighting who's going to do puja to Krishna first, So it's a different perspective somehow. So the kids are like infused with this lifestyle, and this can happen also wherever you are.
Yes, what they see is what they learn, and then what they do. I remember last year we went to the pool here in Vajpalbag, and there was the mom of one of them, and she was like, what are they doing? And one was Krishna, the other one was Radha, and my daughter was pouring water with a bucket, and so she was doing abhishekam to them in the swimming pool. So that's one example. And I was like, look, they're doing abhishekam. Or one day she comes running, because we're neighbors, he's up and we're down. She comes down, Manjari, and she's like, I need a sari. Going, it's like, what are you doing? It's like, we're doing kirtan. It's like, okay. And she goes up again, and then he shows a video, and even the youngest one, who's like 1 year old, she's around.
Yeah.
And she was like that, and they were dancing. And so what you do, they learn. And that's really, really important. Guruji even says often that from 0 to 3 years old, what you do there, what you teach them, these are the seeds that they will grow later in their lives. So it's really a key time for them.
A short example of this, for example, maybe even for future parents. For example, when we found out my wife is pregnant, we started doing regular Om chantings at our house with our friends. Hello, friends. And Yeah. And they participated in the pregnancy, basically, because Om chanting is going to happen now. Om chanting is service to humanity. When you go into a circle of Om chanting, basically you are doing a service by being there. So the community again, the Sangha, the devotees were gathering. We were doing Om chanting in our house, and my wife was she had a big belly. She could hold like a bottle on top of her belly, and she was doing Om chanting, and I could imagine what was happening inside of her belly. All that water was resonating, and it didn't surprise us that the only thing that worked for Radha when she was having like belly and toothache was the Om sound. So whenever she had pain, she couldn't sleep, we just play Om, and she was like kind of remembering that sound. And even now, even though she's 3 years old, she sleeps every night with Om until the morning. So she just pushes play. That's her ritual. She brushes the teeth, she watches some pictures from the day, and then she pushes play, and until the morning she listens to Om. That's what she does. So this is amazing to have them infused with this.
Yes, basically, it's about including them in what you do as your practices. It's including them. Of course, your meditation is not going to be maybe very focused.
You're going to be tired and sleeping and making... Yeah.
Maybe you have to read the same Bhagavad Gita phrase 3-4 times until you really get it, because they're around and many things can happen. But what they see from you, that's what they learn, and you have to include them. When you're doing puja, also maybe you cannot do it in a very proper way because kumkum might fly or rice might fly. Or the other one, my mother told me, oh my god, my son comes and he's like, why are you smelling like this? And he had taken the vanilla perfume and put it in the mouth, and this can happen. But it's better that you do it with them imperfectly, or better not saying perfectly, but in a simple way, then you don't do anything. Maybe just offer a flower, or maybe just show them to dress the deities, or maybe just show them to say good morning or something like this. But better that than no, you can't do it because this is mommy doing now her puja or something like this, because they're excluded. So you include even yagna. I remember when my youngest daughter was born, I think she was 4 weeks old. And I was thinking, should I go to yagna? Should I not go? She's sleeping now. Nobody's looking. I go. And so she was in the wrap, and why not? So it's not that, because I have a small baby now, I have to stay at home and I cannot go to the temple, because I think that if you really want to, he helps. If you really want to, he will allow you to, or he will help you to come. And maybe you can't be the whole prayer time, but at least you are here and you can have darshan from deities and sing the prayers, at least for a little bit. And it's better than nothing. At least this is my way of thinking.
It just came into my mind now. Sometimes, especially if you come to the ashram and you're new, you don't have like a representation. You don't know how to relate to the deities. For example, I had no connection with the Divine Mother whatsoever, because I consider myself a man who should be serious, and I shouldn't cry because I'm a man. Why should you be vulnerable? Stuff like that. Man, you can relate? Okay. And I had no connection with the Divine Mother whatsoever. And I came into the abode of the Divine Mother. So I went to the temple, I saw people full of devotion and they were bowing down. My wife has an amazing connection with the Divine Mother. And I was still looking at the Divine Mother and like, hey, But something switched when I, after spending more time here, it switched when I started to observe them, the Divine Mothers. My wife, Vichitra, everybody, like you can see them. You can see them here with the babies in their arms. And then it hit me because I started to have an overwhelming sense of gratitude and of admiration for the strength, the resilience, the patience, the unbelievable patience, and the sacrifice. And the sacrifice not in that sense of losing something, in the sense of giving a piece of you to make room for the other one. And you will see them. We had a moment, we were home and there was a live stream and we saw Vichitra during a satsang in the temple. And we were, me and Matuka were like, Vichitra's in the temple. She made it. It's like after 2 months, we finally saw her in the temple.
Alone with his kids.
Like enjoying the satsang with Guruji. And I was like, man, this is what you mothers do. Honestly, what you do, this is worthy of being mentioned and of the glorification of the Divine Mother, because by doing this, you are an example for the kids and for us, Prabhus. We have the easiest part because we can move, we can go there, we do our seva, we have to provide, we do stuff, but you are really teaching us what it is to really be dedicated. So I just wanted to say a thank you for all the mothers on behalf of the children and of the shout out for all the mothers of this world, man. They should receive more attention, honestly.
Actually, there's something I wanted to share, which was like a really something that is engraved within me. I shared it also last year. So I was invited to do some seva in a darshan last year. And something happened. Let's say it was not so easy with my youngest one. She was just a few months old. It was some drama. And this seva was shitty seva. Okay. I mean, it was hard. It was hard. And I was very sad. I was very sad. I was feeling like a deep sadness, like feeling like, man, for once I get to do direct seva for Guruji and it's crap. Like, how is this possible? And I remember even him being in the temple and me looking at him and I was crying because I was like, man, why? Why can't I do this? And going out of the temple, he stopped me. He said, wait. And then he said, why are you crying like this? Because again, tears came down. Why are you crying like this? And I said, well, the other day in the darshan, I was just feeling so sad because I was not doing proper seva. I said, your mind was focused somewhere else. And then I kept crying. He said, I just feel like I don't know how to serve you. And he said, you serve me by serving your family. So, with fire, this is the main seva for me now. It's not that I have to do garlands or prepare something for deities, it's just taking the trash out, cleaning dishes, making a nice house, because devotee's house is God's house, right? So I want my house to be a nice place for him. So this is the seva for now. And if I have some time to do other service for the community here, then I can do it. But I will have to carry here my baby, or she will have to be around. But he said, you serve me by serving your family. So this is the seva. This is for me. what he said to me might be inspiring for some other people. He might say something else to other mothers. Can also be, but
and I think it also puts things in perspective, because we say here that the guru is the mother, the guru is the father, and basically we are his children. And from our experience dealing with children, we understand how hard it is, because you tell one of them, wait here and do this, and you turn around and he's gone, man. He's gone, and you're like, where's my child? I don't know, it was here. And it's the same with the guru. I mean, he tries to keep his children around, and some are going there and some are going there, and it puts things in perspective to understand how hard it becomes for him when we don't obey. Because obeying the guru is not like a mindless freedom-taking action that you give away your freedom. No, it's decency, it's common sense. It's like making things easier for everybody, including him. Because the things that we don't see is when he goes back into his bungalow and he has all the pains, and he goes through all the process of helping and serving us all day, and his body is hurting because, and the pain that he has when devotees don't do what they were supposed to do and they go astray. And these are things that we take for granted because, he's the guru, he should be like untouchable. But we know as parents, when things happen to our child, how much it hurts us. And imagine having so many children. So this is another food for thought. The more we are on the spiritual path, and the more we follow and make it easy for everybody, and the more we work together, this is another important aspect. Leaving our ego aside, working together, the more it's going to be easier for him at the end of the day.
The other day, I saw a friend, and he told me, "Oh, you're gonna give a talk about spirituality and family." And I was like, "Oh yes. What would you like to know? Like, what would you like that we share about?" And he said, "So my daily life goes very quickly. I wake up, go to work, come back home. It's already afternoon, almost evening. And there's not much time to do anything. Yeah, just play a little bit with the kids, and it's already time to go to bed. So how do I do it in my daily life to keep up with all the practices and everything?" So I thought, okay, let me share something actually that I've been reflecting upon. In the past few months, I was thinking, what can I do in my daily life so that my mind is directed to him constantly? Because, like I said, I have to vacuum the floor and cook and do all kinds of things. And it's not always meditating or, other things. So I will just give a few examples of what I do. It might be useful. Often when I wake up, it's not like, oh, I wake up, but it's like, "Mommy, I'm hungry." Or like the other one, "Wah, like I'm also hungry." And then, so it's like, "Good morning, Guruji." "Good morning, Radha Krishna." And I go straight for breakfast. And when I'm having breakfast, I chant all the mantras that we as devotees have to chant. Like this, they get used to them and they learn them. And when Manjari was born, the eldest one was born, one of the instructions Guruji gave, was make sure she learns the prayers as soon as possible. So we put the prayers always. And as you know, you receive the blessings from the deities the same as you are watching the live stream or even after. So listen to the prayers, and then it's time for them to, after that, for Manjari to go to kindergarten. As I'm doing my stuff, either I put satsang, so that slowly I'm listening to him, or I listen to Srivitala Giridhari Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Maybe you even listen, because I leave the door open, I have to go out, and I said, "Oh, it's very loud."
It's the same. It's probably synchronized. It's the same in our house.
And I thought maybe the neighbors always hear. I hope they're not sleeping. And yeah, so like I said earlier, prayers are like another very important part of the day. So we always make it to come for prayers, to get me and my 2 daughters, because my husband is working. And yeah, since we are here, and before that, about puja, for example, because last year somebody asked how to do it to the puja. Sometimes I make it to do the whole puja. I think you can do it somehow.
When they grow older, then it's easier because they can participate. Yeah.
Yes, Preet is still 1 year and a few months old, so it's not. Yeah, it's not so easy. But still, I tell her you could, because she plucks flowers from balcony. So I tell her, offer to Krishna, offer, and she knows, she understands, and goes. And actually, she's quite excited about grabbing Krishna and all these things, which we have to be a bit careful with. And yeah, prayer time, very, very important. And it is at night when I can do my studying, reading, and sadhana. So that's how it works for me.
We have more or less the same schedule. The only thing is that Radha, for example, she goes to bed at 11. So my wife actually has a night shift for sadhana, studying. So she goes to bed at around 3 a.m. And then I wake up around 6. So like 3 hours we spend together sleeping. And because I have to do it in the morning. I know I have to do my sadhana in the morning before everything starts. And she's doing after everything ends. But now it's become easier a little bit because I started doing puja consistently with Radha, and she started asking for puja. I mean, she comes and, have you done puja? Let's do puja, let's do puja, let's do puja. And now she almost learned the whole process. And because she wants to do it herself, then it's also helping me. Because sometimes I get caught up, and she's like, let's do. And this becomes our main activity together. Because I work a lot, so this becomes our main activity. Puja time is mama daddy time. And what I learned in this process, because like Vichitra said, if you live here, mainly it becomes super intense. I mean, you try to find 5, 4, 3, 5 minutes. So everything becomes really intense. I learned to do baby steps. So, for example, I was super bad at japa, very bad. I didn't do japa, sorry, Guruji, I didn't do it. But I persisted, I prayed, and I said, I have to do it. So I added 5 minutes every day. I just said 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. And this is the same with everything that I'm doing. Whenever there's something else comes up, at least 5 minutes, at least 1 minute of Guruji satsang, at least. And I have a list of small things that add up to something. It's not, I cannot do like a full length stuff, but at least 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of this. And at the end of the day, you felt like your day has worth it. So we have 5 minutes basically.
Yes, maybe we can open for questions.
Do you have any questions in this 5 minutes? 4, 3, 2, no questions. You have no question? Jai Gurudev.
And you told us how the process with your family at home in your country, and that was very strange for me, for my story also. Thank you for that.
Keep close to your sanghas. Wherever you are, try to keep close to your sanghas. If you have temples, if you have a center, keep close to your sanghas. Bring your kids there. Let them learn. Let them,
as much as you can.
yeah, let them play kirtan. I mean, like she said, now our kids, they play kirtan together. Like they play. They don't watch TikTok and they do makeup. They play Radha and Krishna. They wear saris because they feel like.
Because that's what they are used to.
And we had this conversation. My sister, she lives in America, and we had conversations also with other parents, and they say, but isn't this like taking away their ability to choose in life? If you're like in such a tight environment, it's like you don't brainwash them. And like Guruji says, oh, hopefully I'm gonna brainwash her, but in a good sense, because you wash the dirt. You wash the dirt of TikTok, of Instagram, of the influences of these petty things, of this egocentric life that we are surrounded with, of selfish every day. I'm doing selfish. And they don't do it. They take pictures of each other. They take pictures of the deities. So I prefer, and I think this goes with every parent here, we prefer to make this base. And if they want to go and pursue their life later, it's up to them. Yeah.
And probably our pride as parents of very spiritual
parents,
will be very crushed in a few days, in a few years, sorry. And it will have to be like this. They will have to do whatever they are meant to do.
We ask Guruji.
And we will have to accept. But we are not there yet. Then when it comes, we will have to cross that bridge when we get there.
We asked Guruji after in Romania we wanted to do we were Orthodox before, and it was important for our parents. They have this ritual in their life, and we gladly went through the baptism process for Radha. It was really nice. It was beautiful, amazing priest. So she went through that. It was for the grandparents. It was amazing for everybody getting together. They had this part, and we asked Guruji, we did this for Radha. Is there anything else in that we could do, like in a Hindu way, like the baptism in a Hindu way? And he it was an online darshan. He said, these parents. Every parent wants for their child to be holy, to be saints. And he said, it's not about this, because maybe she wants to be a criminal in this life. And you will not be able to stop her. And I was like, okay. And then we realized that she has her own journey. The only thing that we can do is offer the best that we have. This is the best that we receive from him. And I'm going to give the best that I have.
Do our duty.
Yeah. And
do our duty as parents.
And if she wants to experience the crazy life that we experienced, because we experienced crazy life, then it's her choice.
How do you know? No, but actually, the other day I was talking with another mom who's going through something quite hard with her daughter. And then I remembered there's a really nice video, these really nice experiences with the master, with Shukra Rupadasi and actually Anish Paridasi, the twins. And she
death experience.
Yeah, and she explains there how at some point she says, as much as I love my sister here in this life, when I was in this other part, I only wanted to go to him. I only wanted to go to him. And this is our true self, meaning that our children will have to do whatever they have to do, but we have to let them go and trust that ultimately it is him who's taking care of them. And we will have to accept. And it's easier said than done. But it is also learning that we also are doing.
It was a question, quick.
Thank you for your work. Talk about little child. What about child like 10 years?
Yes,
Oh, teenagers.
Teenagers?
yes,
We're training for that.
yes. That's. I
We
told
actually
my
discussed
Atita.
about this question. Yeah.
I know, but the thing is, I cannot speak about that because I'm not there. So
What we can say from what we observe is like the teenagers, they're doing puja to the deities
true.
now. So, and they some of them didn't grow up, they came here. And then they started doing puja because the influence of the environment, the association is such a strong influence that they let loose of the bad habits instantly because everybody around them is doing this.
And actually, so Kesh, one of the pujaris, and Martin, who's Radha Durga Pujari, they were very good. They are very good friends. So Kesh would come every day to do puja, and Martin was like at home like this. But actually, Guruji told him he should do puja also, and then he just had to surrender. And his dad said, "You just have to do." And then so they started doing, he started also doing, and now it's like not really normal thing.
And you have like
It's the influence of the friends, very
some
important.
days when all the pujaris on the main altar are teenagers. So it's a sight to see.
We have to finish.
We have to finish. Jai Gurudev. Everybody is invited to the Om chanting now. So sorry.
Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Sadgurudeva Shri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Thank you so much. This is an endless topic. Yeah, and it should be repeated, definitely.